Walking with Your Ghosts, submitted by William L. This is a true ghost story, submitted by a viewer like you. William says, this is not my story, but I wanted to share it with Walking with Your Ghosts, as I find it strange and wonderful. Let me tell you about Austin Wiggin, who was a superstitious man. Perhaps this was due to his upbringing, because his mother was a self-proclaimed palm reader. Reading young Austin's palm in the 1950s, she made 3 predictions. First, when he grew up, he would marry a woman with strawberry blonde hair. She next predicted that he would have 2 sons she would never live to see. Her last prediction was he would have daughters who would form a band and become famous. Austin went on to live a quiet, unassuming life. That was eventually interrupted by the introduction of a young lady who was a strawberry blonde. Love and marriage followed, making his mother's first prediction come true. Sadly, before the couple had been blessed with the birth of their first son, Austin's mother passed away. Another son followed. The second prediction was also true. After the 2 boys, 3 daughters were born to Austin and his strawberry blonde wife. Their names were Dot, Betty, and Helen. Austin wasn't a music fan and knew nothing about the music business, but he knew that it was up to him to help his daughters become a famous band. The girls had no say or interest in forming a band, but their father would not be dissuaded that they were destined for greatness. In 1965, when they reached their teens, Austin pulled them out of school, put them in a few vocal and music lessons, gave them instruments, told them to write songs and practice. The band would be named after a popular haircut at the time, the Shaggs. The girls were obedient and obliging, and they did really try. In 1968, Austin felt his girls were ready and entered them into a talent contest. Sadly, they were laughed and booed off the stage. Austin was not deterred, and later that year he took the sisters to a recording studio, despite the girls feeling they weren't ready for it. As the studio hands laughed in the background, the girls put out their first album, Philosophy of the World. Despite paying for 1,000 albums, the crooked studio only gave them 100. Little traction was gained by the Shaggs except a weekly town hall concert. Still believing in his mother's prophecy, Austin decided to give recording another try. The now adult Shaggs went into the music studio again to record. Before the recordings could be pressed into an album, Austin died of a massive heart attack. The girls were finally free to move on with their lives. Their mother sold their house and the sisters sold their instruments. Dot, Betty, and Helen were finally able to grow up, get married, and leave the embarrassment of the Shaggs behind them. Then something strange happened. Music took a shift, and the underground music scene had discovered that there was something beautiful and raw. In the uninhibited way the Shaggs performed their imperfect songs. During a radio appearance, Frank Zappa came across the Shaggs album. He thought they were brilliant. He started promoting the music to fellow musicians who also raved about the album. Zappa claimed that the Shaggs were better than the Beatles. Even music genius Kurt Cobain stated that the Shaggs were amongst his favorite bands, and he said that Dot, Betty, and Helen were an influence on his music. By the 1990s, the band had finally become famous. Austin's mother's third prophecy had finally come true. As a side note, after Austin's wife sold their home, the new owner said he was sure it was haunted by the ghost of Austin Wiggin. Was he dismayed at not living long enough to see his mother's prophecy come true? The new owner claimed the house was so haunted, it was unlivable. He donated it to the fire department to use in education, and it was burned to the ground. If you have a true ghost story that you'd like to share, please tell us about it in the comments, and you might find yourself featured on Walking with Your Ghost.
You can help us by subscribing, commenting, and liking.